All right, guys, in this video, I'm going to reveal some secrets. There used to be a show on TV where a magician revealed how other magicians did their magic tricks, and I loved that show. Well, here is something. I'm going to reveal how some of the memory experts do their memory demonstrations. So I'll pick a couple different memory demos here that I've seen done on TV. One I saw done by Harry Lorayne. Harry Lorayne was a memory expert. He lived to be in his 90s. And in the 1980s, he was on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson 27 times. One of those times he was on The Tonight Show, he handed Johnny Carson a magazine. And he said, pick a page. And Johnny Carson picked a random page. He might have said page 17. And Harry Lorayne said, that was the article about motorcycles. The audience goes crazy. And this was a magazine that Harry Lorayne had been given maybe prior to the commercial break, and at the end of the commercial break, he hands it back. And then Johnny Carson says, okay, what was on page 25? And the audience had just watched Harry memorize this right in front of their eyes. He's like, page 25, that's what this was about. Page 17, page 12, page 11, that's what this was about. And it got a great reaction from the Tonight Show audience. Years later, decades later, the Martha Stewart Show called me, and they said, Ron, what kind of demonstration could you do for the Martha Stewart Show? I said, well, Martha has a magazine. Why don't you give me the magazine, before I go on the air, let me memorize what's on every page. And so that's what they did. And I go live on the air, and Martha Stewart picks a random page. She says, what's on this page? I tell her what's on this page, and the audience goes nuts. How did Harry Lorayne do it, and how did I do it? The exact same way. The first thing is we needed a location, a mental location for each page number. For me, I use the Mind Palace or the Memory Palace, so I just have 200 pieces of furniture numbered. And I'm sure Harry did something similar. He might have had 200 pieces of furniture numbered in this Mind Palace. Page 17 was about a motorcycle, so on the 17th piece of furniture, in this route, this journey that he has memorized, he sees a motorcycle jumping over that piece of furniture or something like that. Essentially, a Mind Palace is where you memorize a map of a room. So you walk into the room, you have a desk, a bed, a TV, a dresser, a poster over here, and then you memorize those locations, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, the first 5 pages of the magazine, you create brain triggers to do that. And I went all through my house, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 through 15, and that's how I did the magazine demonstration. I'm not 100% sure that's how Harry did it. He might have done it another way, but if he did it another way, it's pretty close to that. It's pretty close to this way. There was another memory demonstration that some memory experts do. I saw Harry Lorayne do it on The Tonight Show, and I have copied it since then. The second demo is this. He goes down the row and he meets somebody, and they say hi, my name is Isaac. He meets Isaac, then he goes to the next person. Hi, my name is Doug. Hi, my name is Henry. Hi, my name is Jessica. Hi, my name is Steve. Hi, my name is Brian. Hi, my name is Tom. And he gets all their names, and then he goes back and he says, okay, everybody stand up. And everybody stands up. And he says, Isaac, you can sit down. Doug, you can sit down. And he goes through and he tells every single person to sit down in the audience. I do the same thing. I'll go and speak at a conference or a convention, and I will meet up to 200 people as they're walking in the room. And as they walk in the room, they tell me their name. Hi, I'm Steve, I'm Brian, I'm Lisa, I'm Karen, I'm Wendy. I get up on stage and I say, if you're one of the 200 people I met, stand up. 200 people will stand up, and I will point to them, and I will say, Steve, you can sit down. Lisa, you can sit down. Karen, you can sit down. Brian and Tom and Wendy and Stacy and Jacob, until everybody in the room is sitting down. It's a demonstration that I first saw Harry Lorayne do on The Tonight Show in the 1980s, and I have taken it and stolen it, and now I use it for my own memory speeches. How do we do it? It's actually a very simple process. When that person walks in the room and they're walking towards us, the first thing we're zoning in on is what stands out to me about their clothing. Do they have a bright red shirt on? Do they have a baseball cap on? Do they have glasses on? Do they have a beard? Do they have big ears? Do they have a big nose? Do they have a beard? Do they have stripes on their shirt? And we zone in on that distinctive feature. And we're doing this very rapidly, the first thing that catches our eye. Let's pretend like a woman named Lisa is walking towards us. We don't know her name right now, but we know she's got bright red earrings on. So we are zoned in on those earrings. And then we get close to her. She says, my name is Lisa. Instantly, we have a picture for named Lisa. Mine is the Mona Lisa. So I imagine I'm painting the Mona Lisa in those earrings. I go and I meet the next person. I'm walking towards him and I'm zoned in on those stripes on his shirt. He's got stripes across his shirt and I'm just seeing those stripes. And then I walk towards him and he says, "Hi, my name is Doug." I imagine now I'm digging holes, and I'm digging holes in a row on that shirt. Doug Dig. Now I'm doing this very rapidly though, and I'll go through and I'll get 200 or 300 people. The trick or the key to this is you're not going to be able to do this if you don't have images for names. If I'm in the moment and I'm having to think, what's Doug? Doug is Dig. What's Lisa? Lisa's the Mona Lisa. I'll be able to do this, but maybe I'll only be able to get 5 or 6 names. But over time, once you determine that Steve is a stove, Lisa's the Mona Lisa, Karen is a carrot, Brian is a brain, Wendy is a windmill, then the speed, you can do 100, 200, or 300, and you just have to look at their clothing or their face, and their brain trigger leads you back to their name. Now, this is a great demonstration that you see the memory experts do on TV shows, or you see them do it in front of an audience as a speaker. Here's the flaw with it, though. Let's say it's a 3-day conference. And this happened to me. This happened to me just last week. I go memorize the people based on their clothing at this conference. I memorized 200 names in the audience. They sat down. They think it's great. Well, day 2 of the conference, I'm walking around the conference, and these people had the nerve to change clothes. So I was kind of, not so certain of their names. The people that I used their beard or their facial features, I was still able to get. So in real life, you don't want to zone in on their clothing. But as a memory expert doing a demonstration for a TV or on a stage, that is how they do it. They're zoning in on their clothing. And then I'll tell you another demonstration that I did. In 2016, there was a TV show called Superhuman, and had Mike Tyson was on it, and Cal Penn, who is a famous actor. And what they did is they had 15 girls lined up on stage. And I'm from Texas, I'm from Fort Worth, so they assumed that I was a cowboy. And they had all these girls dressed up in cowboy hats, and they were dressed up like cowgirls or whatever. And I went up to each girl, and I said, "Give me your name, a fact about yourself, and a 10-digit phone number," it was a Google Voice number. It wasn't a real phone number. So when this aired later on Fox, random people weren't calling these girls. Girl number 1, this is my name. This is my 10-digit phone number. I like gymnastics or whatever. Then I went to the next girl. This is my name. This is a 10-digit phone number. This is a fact about myself. I did that with all 15 girls. In essence, I memorized 15 names, a 150-digit number, because 15 girls times 10 is 150, and then 15 facts. So it was 180 pieces of information. But it wasn't just 180 pieces of information. I had to assign it to the right girl. When I got all the way done with it, Mike Tyson was sitting over there, on a couch, and he was just watching this whole thing happen. And then Mike Tyson said, "Ron, the girl in the red hat, call her." So they gave me a fake phone, and I would say, "Oh, the girl in the red hat, that's Ashley. Her phone number is," and then I said the phone number out loud as I dialed it. And then if I got it right, Ashley's phone would ring. And I'd say, "Hey, Ashley, your favorite subject is whatever."
Right now, we're going to pick 5 women at random. You have to remember each of their names, the facts they told you, and their numbers. And you're going to have to call them with this.
Okay. They quizzed me on 5 random girls, all 5 times. I got it perfect. It was without question one of the toughest memory demonstrations of my life, because I was doing it in front of a live studio audience. I had Mike Tyson over there watching me, and I was having to talk to 15 beautiful women while I was doing this. It was a distracting process. How did I do it? Very similar, actually, to how you will see the memory experts memorize the magazine. Before I went on stage that day, I selected 15 rooms that I was very familiar with, 15 rooms that I just knew. My living room, my kitchen, my bathroom, my bedroom, my friend's house, his living room, 15 rooms that I knew very well. I knew girl number 1 was going to go in room number 1. Girl number 2 was going to go in room number 2. Girl number 3 was going to go in room number 3. The first piece of furniture in each room was their name. So I'll go up to girl number 1. She says her name is Wendy. Well, I know that's room number 1. Piece of furniture number 1, I put a windmill now. So a windmill's blowing on that piece of furniture. She gives me her phone number, a 10-digit phone number. The area code I put on piece of furniture number 2. The next 3 digits I put on the next piece of furniture, and then the last 4 digits I put on the fourth piece of furniture in that room. I'm not going to go into the detail on how to turn numbers into pictures. Watch one of my other videos on how to turn numbers into pictures. But I had a picture that represented that 10-digit number for me, and I put it on that piece of furniture. And then the favorite subject was easy. The girl says she likes gymnastics. I see somebody doing gymnastics on the last piece of furniture in that room, the 5th location. So when Mike Tyson says, "Ron, the girl in the red hat," I just have to count. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's the 4th girl down. That's room number 4. Oh, what's on the first piece of furniture in room number 4? Ashes. Hey, Mike, that's Ashley. Ron, what's Ashley's phone number? It's on the next 3 pieces of furniture. I say her phone number. Ashley answers the phone, and then I say what was on the last piece of furniture in that room, which was our favorite topic. So you're going to see memory experts doing demonstrations just like a magician, that it's going to blow your mind. You're going to be like, what? How in the world did they do that? It's often a very simple process of taking the data that they want to memorize, creating an image for it, and then attaching that image to something that they know. I'll say one last one. Here's a bonus one for you. In 2010, I was on the History Channel show called Stan Lee's Superhumans. Stan Lee was the inventor of the Incredible Hulk and the Fantastic Four and all that. He had a show, and he took me to a Home Depot. And we went around the Home Depot, and they had a shopping cart, and they pulled items off the shelf, and whenever they pulled them off the shelf, they would say $19.95, and they put it in the buggy. $17.28 was the price. That'd have been a weird price, but they said that, and then they put it in the buggy. We went to the cash register. I turned my back to the computer so I couldn't see it. They scanned the items. I said the price, and once again, I got it perfect. But it's the same concept. Every time they said the price, I have a number for that price, $17.28 or $19.95 or whatever it was. I looked at the product, and I looked at something unique about the product. That product has a yellow handle. I attached my picture for that number to the yellow handle. That was where I centered. That's where I stored the data. And then when they pulled it out of the shopping cart, I saw the yellow handle again. I knew the data was stored there, and I said the picture for that number. When you see memory experts doing memory demonstrations, what you're seeing them do is take abstract information, a name, a number, some information on a book. They're creating a picture for it, and they're storing it somewhere. They may be storing it on a person's body themselves. They may be storing it on a unique feature of a product, or they may be storing it in a room in a house. But they are storing it somewhere, and that is how memory experts will do demonstrations that blow your mind. If you want to get good at memory and you want to get pictures for names and numbers and all that, subscribe to my channel. By the way, click the link down below. I have a free gift for you that tells you some memory secrets so you'll even be more of a superhero of memory. Do that, and I'll see you on the next video.